Hello, everybody. It's Brandon again. If you're new to my channel, welcome back. Excuse me. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today, I'll be talking about the myth of police brutality. It's a strong opening, I know, especially if the people who I want to reach with this video are watching right now. And those people are the people who think that police brutality is a thing, who think that police are targeting minorities, who think the police are violent in nature, come from a violent culture, they're teaching violence or taught violence in the academy. All of those things are not true. Hopefully this video will clear any questions you have up. And if you have any questions after the fact, I hope that you will state them in the comments. Now, full disclosure, I've been a police officer for over 13 years. I've been at 3 different agencies. I'm at my 3rd agency now. I've never been fired. I've left on my own accord, under my own volition. And the majority of my time as a police officer has been in a patrol capacity at night on the streets responding to calls. I understand that many of you will completely write me off at this point, saying that I have skin in the game, that I'm biased because I'm a cop. I'm 37 years old. I've been a cop for 13 years of my life. That means for most of my life, I have not been a cop. I have seen both sides. Yes, I've been black in America and all that jazz that everybody says, but I don't think that matters, and it certainly doesn't matter for what I'm about to say. First of all, let's tackle profiling. Okay, that's a term that a lot of people like to use, mostly in a negative connotation when it comes to police. Let's talk about what profiling is. Profiling is you looking for a specific demographic for a specific reason. Let me explain it to you. So, for example, if you say you go to work tonight, you're a cop and you go to work and you're in show up and they tell you that a group of 3 young black males are in a 1996 Buick LaCrosse and they have been robbing people in a certain neighborhood. Be on the lookout. A BOLO is what this stands for, BOLO. Be on the lookout. A BOLO is issued and they want you as a patrol officer to pay extra attention to your beat, your sector, your district, whatever you call it in your agency, that night for that particular vehicle. That requires you to profile. That does not mean you're profiling them because they were black. Black is just one of the descriptors of the suspects in a string of robberies. That does not make the police officer racist if he sees a vehicle matching the description with 3 black males at 3 o'clock in the morning in an industrial district for no reason. Every business in that district has been closed for several hours and they won't be open for several hours. That is profiling. Now, what you no doubt have been told that profiling is going out and looking for a young black kid for no other reason than he's black. That does not happen. If it does happen, you will not be a police officer very long if you do that. May have happened 20 years ago. This is not 20 years ago. I am so tired of people willingly ignoring facts so they can pretend that the America of 2020 is the America of 1960 because they believe that gives them certain license to be openly racist, to lie, to ignore facts, and to hold beliefs they know aren't true simply because they're comfortable holding them because they've held them for so long. You won't get that here. It won't be tolerated here. You can get mad about it, but that doesn't change facts. Let's move on. Let's talk about abuse of power, police brutality, police use of force. I'm going to say something that you probably never heard before. The police officer does not determine the level of force used. Excuse me. I'll say that again. The police officer is not the one who determines the level of force that is used. In my agency, it's called a use of force is referred to as a response to resistance. I think that's the proper title for it because it is a response to the resistance an officer meets. In other words, I apply the level of force necessary to effect an arrest, to effect detention, to do my job. That means the level of force I apply depends on the level of resistance I meet. The level of resistance I meet is up to you. What if, I know I'm talking crazy here. What if you just did what the officer said? What if no arguing? What if no fighting? What if no running? See, it's odd to me because we live in a world. I'll say it, especially young black men. We live in a world where they want two realities to exist simultaneously. They want me to believe that they're deathly afraid of police officers, but they also want me to believe they don't care if they go back to jail. I can't tell you how many times I've pulled somebody over and they just volunteered the information that they don't care. They've been to jail and they don't care if they go back. Well, I can promise you I care less than you do. I can promise you it doesn't benefit me in any way if you return to prison. I don't want you to return to prison, but that should be something you want a little bit more than me, right? Why should I care more about you going to prison than you? It's astonishing. Never ceases to amaze. But those same people will tell you that they're deathly afraid of police officers. Why'd you run, sir? I was scared. Especially if there's a protest going on. Especially now. We'll talk about the George Floyd incident on another video. Just suffice it to say that young black males are not terrified of police officers. That's not my experience. That's not the experience of any police officer I've spoken to. They certainly don't behave that way. And I'm sure you'll get the Michael Eric Dyson answer of, well, they're just projecting that because they're afraid and they've been raised in a society where they have to project strength in order to hide their weaknesses. That's nonsense. That's complete nonsense. You mean to tell me that these people are so dumb they pretend to be strong when they're scared? They just don't know the difference? That's a lie. You can't be both. And I'm not saying that you're dumb. I don't believe you are. I believe you know exactly what you're doing. That's even worse. I believe you know exactly what you're doing when you tell a police officer, take off your badge. You know exactly what you're doing when you tell a police officer, if I catch you on the street. First of all, let me address that. I try to carry myself in a manner where the people that are around me will not be the people I meet while I'm at work as a police officer. So in other words, under the circumstances of my job are the only circumstances where me and you would ever meet. We don't hang in the same social circles. We don't go to the same grocery store. I designed it that way. I live as far away as I can from the area where I work. Within reason, I want to drive an hour to work every day. Let's move on to let's move on to racism. Systematic structural racism that supposedly exists in policing, in criminal justice, and in our society in general. Speaking of society in general, I believe it's unique police work in that we are the most visible representation of the government. Perhaps that's why there's so much attention on us. We have a lot of authority, and we are a physical representation of you being held accountable for your actions. And I've said this a long time. Nothing scares young people more than the idea that you are responsible for how your life turns out. It's always somebody else's fault. I don't understand how criminal justice reform means somehow that I am incapable of following the law. That I, as a black man, can't help selling dope. Can't help, shooting somebody, fighting. Can't help that. I can't help my behavior. That's ridiculous. It's insulting. If you are young and you are black or you are a minority, you're young in general. Don't buy that for a second. They're turning you into sheep, victims, mindless urukai. You have the ability to decide what direction your life goes and how fast it goes that way. You can go rob a bank or go get a degree. It's completely up to you. America's that type of country. Is America perfect? No. But I think for far too long, progressives have purposely taught our youth in a manner that makes them mistake good for perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. This country is not perfect. The criminal justice system ain't perfect. Policing in this country is not perfect. They're good. They're the best they've ever been. I'm not saying they can't get better, but I'm not saying they're the worst either. If you watch mainstream media, anything other than Fox News or Newsmax, you will be led to believe that America is the worst it's ever been. Donald Trump is the cause of everybody's problems. He is the reason racism exists. And if it wasn't for him, all your problems would be solved. I got to tell you, it's January 6, 2021. It looks like Joe Biden will be sworn in as president on January 20th. And none of your problems are fixed. You're the exact same person you were a year ago. Donald Trump was not the issue. So let me frame it for you. The overall message is that America is racist. America has a racist justice system, racist police force. Everything about it is racist. And a big reason for that is President Trump, because he's the president. President Trump has been in office for 4 years. Joe Biden has been in office for 47 years. President Trump ain't your problem. I'll say white folks ain't your problem. Our problem, if you want to find our problem as black folks, you need look no further than a mirror. You can get mad at me or you can try to fix it. I'm not saying this to hurt your feelings. I'm saying this to help. You may say you don't need my help. You need somebody's help. Every time I turn around, you got somebody saying how if one of the white folks, we'd be doing a whole lot better. If somehow you took every white person out of this country, will that somehow improve your credit score? Will that somehow erase your criminal record? Would that somehow make young ladies start waiting till they get married to have kids? None of those things are Donald Trump's fault. None of those things are the Republican Party's fault. None of those things are the Democratic Party's fault. It's the mindset we're being taught. I cannot change being black. I was born black, won't be black until the day I die. I'm not ashamed of it, but I'm not proud of it either. It is as consequential to me as being born with eyebrows. Being black is not the most important thing about me. Being black is not the most important thing about you if you're black. If I had made a list of the 100 most important things about you, your race would not be on it. Your race is what you are. Who you are is a combination of what you think and your actions and what comes out of your mouth. That's what you decide. And if you're sitting up here telling me that the most important thing about you is your race, well, you were born your race, then you have failed. You were born your race. That's not something you accomplished. That means you have improved your life none from the time you were born until adulthood, which if you're watching this, you're likely an adult, which means you've had all this time and you have not surpassed the circumstances of your birth. I want you to think about that. I am not here to preach to you. I hope this is an open dialogue. This being my first video, I hope it kind of clues you into what my mindset is. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're Laotian. I want to talk about the issues. You will get nothing but facts from me. Anyway, if you like this video, like and subscribe. Please comment. I'll respond if I can. Till next time, see you.